The Heroes Us is a comic book that tells the story of 6 Kenyans infected by the HIV/AIDS virus. All the characters live in Busia, a Kenyan town that shares a border with Uganda. When compared to other areas, HIV/AIDS is more prevalent in Busia because of prostitution, cultural practices like wife inheritance, and stigma. The comic book is a Médecins Sans Frontières or Doctors Without Borders initiative. The organization wants to stop the spread of the disease in the area.
You know, people look at HIV, you know, as a ghost, as a demon, as a snake. But I think putting the voices of people living positively, you know, in comics, in cartoon form, I think it demystifies the whole area of HIV and people start seeing, yeah, this is something we have to live with.
The project involved some well-known African cartoonists like Frank Odoi from Ghana, who traveled to Busia to work with some of the comic book's characters like 11-year-old Laureen Loris.
Basically, most people think cartoon books or comic books are not serious medium for expressing important issues like HIV. But it's something which we found a way around it. You dramatize it, you bring the strong points out, you make sure that at least the reader is riveted to the pages by trying to to give the reader very graphic representations. And this being not a fiction story, but actually stories from real people, I decided to draw them the way I saw them, the way they were.
Frank illustrated his meeting with Laureen in The Heroes Us. Laureen contracted the virus at birth.
How old is she? She's so intelligent.
Yes, Laureen is only 11. She likes helping people. Laureen is now a healthy child, and I thank God for bringing MSF here. 2 years ago, Laureen was very, very sick. Her legs were oozing and she couldn't walk. Her mother took her to hospital in Nairobi to be tested for HIV/AIDS. The results were positive, and she also had TB. They moved from Nairobi to Siopot in 2008 before her mother died.
Shida yangu ni kama mama anapokufa.
My problem started when my mom died. I think about her a lot, and I feel pain in my chest, and I feel like a wire is strangling me. Now, when these thoughts come, I kneel down and pray to chase them away. There are times that I think that I'd rather die, so I go under the tree to rest in order for these thoughts to go away.
Kenyan cartoonist James Kamawira or Cam worked on 47-year-old John Okongo's story for the comic book.
So we are trying to do something different to arouse more interest because this has not been done so much. I mean, comic books on serious matters like HIV. I mean, they're not so common. So we actually feel that to attract more attention to the problems and the successes, mainly the successes of the patients themselves. I mean, a comic book serves the purpose very well.
I thought they were just joking, but when they just started asking me some questions and writing some cartoons, I just think they were just doing some rough work, you see. But after some few seconds, I just saw they have cartooned me, they have shown me everything. So practically, I saw it myself, talking, being happy, the way I was feeling. So I like it, that cartoon.
John was one of the first people in his village to go public about his status and has become an AIDS activist in the area.
Daddy, don't forget your medicine. It's time.
Thanks, my girl. What would I do without you?
The most difficult moment, it was to access treatment, because during that time, it was a lot of stigma, denial, and discrimination. In fact, when people are passing here, most of friends have run away because I told them I'm HIV positive. They thought that maybe I'll infected. They didn't know how HIV is being infected. So they had no knowledge or education about HIV. So they ran away from me. In fact, most of them were passing here, even shouting that in fact we are going to die within 7 days. So my wife, when heard that, she cried the whole night. But I told her, they are not God. God who knows the day I'll die. But the doctor told me when I access treatment, I'll even stay 15 to 20 years.
The Hero's Us is being distributed free of charge and will be translated into different Kenyan languages. The comic book ends on these satirical cartoons by popular East African cartoonist Gado.
Usichoke.